Hey everybody, it's time to roll the wind. Just got back from a weekend, 4th of July weekend trip to Biloxi. Wife and I went down on Friday, and for the most part we had just an excellent trip. So I thought I'd post a little update on how the trip went, give you a shot or two I had to make out of position, tell you a couple of stories. Quite interesting weekend. We got there early. I've taken a different route. Normally I go down I-65 south to Mobile and hit I-10. But the summertime weekend beach traffic sucks. Sucks really bad. So anyway, last two trips I explored going through Hattiesburg down 59 and then going west of Biloxi and then coming back east and no traffic. Great drive, about the same length of time, slightly longer, but no stressful beach traffic. But we got down early. We were supposed to check into Harrah's Gulf Coast. Had reservations for the weekend, and we got in early, so we stopped at the Scarlet Pearl. I had a little bit of free play there, and it's really a pretty casino. The outside of the building is not so spectacular, but the inside of the casino is well appointed. It's very pretty, it's very bright, and they've got a short 12-foot table. And I can normally get in and make a little bit or not get hurt too bad. So I had some free play, wanted to try it, and had a little money in my pocket clip. I didn't have to dig out bankroll cash for the weekend per se. So I gave the wife some money for her to go play some slots, and I bought in about $800. Lo and behold, couldn't quite get it going. You know, of course, I just drove 5.5 hours, just stopped in. Toss was okay, but wasn't getting any kind of repeatable results. And so I'm down 300 or 400, and I decided, well, I'm going to just cash out. Go to the cage looking for my wife. Didn't see her. I thought I'd walk into the high limit slot room. Thought she might be in there. She wasn't there. But I saw this one high limit slot that sits out front. Went over there. I put $200 in. First pull, hit it for $1,000. So I cashed out real quick. Went to the machine, got my money. Still didn't see the wife. Went back and bought in at the table straight out. Thought I'd try a little straight out action on it. And got a little bit of the money I had lost earlier back. Wife came walking up. So I colored up and we headed on to check in. So we were getting kind of hungry for lunch anyway. So we decided we'd go see if our room was ready. If it was ready, check in, eat lunch, then unpack the car, go get settled. And that's what we did. We went and checked in at Harrah's. Had a good quick bite to eat, got unpacked, headed downstairs. Harrah's only had their crapless table open. And that was fine. It's a $15 table. Hardly anybody was on it at that time on Friday. So I bought in, played a little while, Made a little bit of money, but nothing spectacular. Had gone in with the thought being that it's going to be a busy weekend, going to be a lot of drunks, a lot of crowds at the table, and so mentally I was ready to play the dark side until I had the dice. We had dinner reservations at the steakhouse Friday night anyway, so got done, played a little bit, colored up. We got cleaned up, rested, went downstairs again, and had a great steak meal at the Magnolia House Cafe, or Magnolia House restaurant there. Highly recommend it. I've never had a bad meal there. My steak was, as far as I was concerned, it was about as good as you're going to get. We go back into the casino, and Krampus was going fairly strong. The regular table was open. It was a $15 minimum table. I slid right into stick left one. And the thing I started picking up quick was being a don't player was not the action you really, really needed, particularly at Harrah's that weekend. The random throwers were knocking you off your don't pass, maybe hitting a 6 or 8 here and there, so the one hit can't miss was working a little bit, but a lot of times they would hit a couple of 5s, couple of 9s, never touch a 6 or 8, and then they'd 7 out, or they'd knock your point off, never hit the 6 and 8 and 7 out. The other thing I noticed was there was a whole lot of sides of the all tall small being hit. There was a lady I called Miss T. I think her name was Tina, but I called her Miss T. She was on the Krampus table every time I saw her. In fact, she bought in when I did earlier that afternoon. Wide open better. She goes 50, 50, 50 on the all tall small every time I saw her bet. 50, 50, 50. Always playing from straight out. And she would set the dice in line in some fashion and then toss them, down into this area of the table. They would splatter, and sometimes she'd get good results, sometimes not. But on my table, I decided that after I had watched everybody go around, there were certain guys I was just going to go ahead and bet 5-5-5 on, play a $15 table, play it conservatively. And a friend of mine from Tunica showed up, happened to walk by, and I called him. I said, "You need to buy in. This table's hot." So he did. And I walked away from that table with 4 pumpkin chips and I think 4 black chips, $4,400, and I had like an $800 buy-in. I'd hit an all tall small on one of those random guys. I kept leaving a number hanging. I can't tell you how many times through the weekend again I'd get down to 1 or 2 numbers. Well, 2 numbers. Sometimes I'd hit a small or a tall through the weekend, but I'd have a come out, make a point and have a come out 7. I'd knock it off, reload the all tall small, and I'd get it down to a number or 2 here or there. Another come out 7. I was having long rolls, having good rolls most of the weekend. So got up like that, and I told my friend, I said, I need to color up, get off this table. And it was getting kind of starting to cool off, getting choppy. So we did. We both went to the cage, Walked around, talked a minute, and came back by the table, and it's almost all but empty. So we bought back in. I bought back in with I don't know, $600 or $800, and went down a little bit and came back up a couple hundred winter. And I said, I'm going to bed. Colored up, go to bed. I need to go make a coffee run at the Beau Rivage in the morning. I'll text you when I'm headed that way. Now, you're not going to believe this. I get up Saturday morning, drive the mile, 2 miles, whatever it is, down to the Beau Rivage. I park in the, the platinum section of the parking deck. I'm all ready to go. Got a short walk. Just got to walk through the casino. As you know, if you've ever been there, you got to walk through by every shop in there before you can get to the front and walk into the casino. Well, as you're making that turn right in front of the registration desk to go down into the casino, they've got that coffee stand there. And I'm just booking it. I'm walking fast. I'm ready to get to the tables. I want to get on early. And the woman goes, "Sir, you just stepped in dog poop." And I stopped and looked. She said, "You just stepped in dog poop." And I thought to myself, I'm inside the nicest casino in town, the one with the greatest reputation. So I turn around and look, and there's dog poop that big around and that long sitting out there. And I'm like, some guy said, "No, he didn't hit it." Nugget, she said, "Yeah, I think he did." I looked on the bottom of my shoe, and sure enough, I'd stepped in the giant poop. And quite frankly, I just kind of wiped my foot off on the carpet there next to it, and I went, "I think y'all gonna have to clean the carpet." And I started walking to the casino, and I was like, oh man, this could be a bad omen. This could be one of those things that you don't want to happen. Just gonna get in my head. I was like, you know what? I just stepped in dog crap. That can't get much worse than that inside one of these nice casinos. I'm gonna go ahead and buy in. So I bought in. Nobody was on the table. Come up, stick left one. A few minutes later, my buddy comes in at stick left two. And then about 4 other people bought in real quick. I was betting minimum on the pass line. Start out with a combat. Wanted to see if I was going to be 0.7 out or how my toss was going to look. Previous night I had been killing the 10s, so I was curious to see if I was going to have a lot of 10s. Well, got out there, made a point of 10. I was like, well, that's 2 hits, but I'd put $100 with odds, or $50 odds, won $100. And so the next time, I just placed it for 50. And then I hit it again. I said, well, place it for 100. Hit it again. 4 hits in. I said, well, place it for 250. I hit that 10 again. So that's 5 10s. Hit that 10 again. They paid me $500. I said, you know what? I'm going to put that all in the rack. Same bet. Hit that 10 again. I said, same bet. They put that in my rack. So I'm up $1,000 just on the 10. hit it one more time, and I said, "Well, take it to 500 and give me the 250." I was just killing that 10. It was 6-4, 6-4, 5-5, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. It's just, I mean, you know, might have been 2 hard 10s in it. I'm throwing that 5-1, 3-5, 6 8s and 10s, 6 8s and 10s, lots of 10s. Having a good old time. Cashed out real well. Real well. At the bow. Head back. Wife's at the pool. I ordered breakfast. I came out to the pool. She and I had breakfast at the pool. I went back inside. Harris got on the crapless table. Hit it for a good lick. I'm going to have a different little video of all the chip pictures. But just, you know, really, I kept thinking to myself, this can't be real. As much as I'm hitting all that stuff, it's too good to be true. But I was enjoying it to the fullest. And get on about noonish that day. Saturday, we decided to, after I left the crapless table, and I'd picked up another bundle of cash off that table, we went over to the IP. I had some free play, and for some reason, the IP tables, you know, everybody loves them, everybody brags on them. They're very, very firm. They're very, very hard. There's no bounce. And maybe it's because I practice with a bouncy table. Sometimes I can get them figured out, sometimes I can't. I think I told you this before. This IP can either be feast or famine for me. But I used my free play up, and then I went into famine mode and decided I'd just call it, wasn't getting my 10s. Wasn't getting a whole lot of anything. So I called it. And I lost probably about 800 bucks there at the IP of my winnings I'd accumulated. But we went and had lunch at the cafe there. They have got the best country fried steak that you can find. The best, my opinion. Things as big as your plate. Come back, stuffed, tired, take a nap. I think I crashed for about 2 hours, getting rested up from the road trip. You know, and I was not up real late. You know, I've been trying to pace myself here lately and not make sure I didn't stay up those wee hours after midnight. In fact, I was in the room every night well before midnight. But I crashed. Well, I got back up, went downstairs and got on the crapless table again, and Miss T was there, and we played a little while. I went to the regular table where I'd been the night before, and there were so many distractions with people, drunks and whatnot, that finally went back over to the crapless table. Saw Stick left one open, went over and just picked my chips up, told the stick man I'm moving down there. Moved down there and played some more crapless, hit some extreme numbers. What I had noticed the night before, when I was kind of testing out some sets, the 2-3-6-3 that I use quite a bit was just giving me all kinds of horn numbers. I was getting 6s, I was getting 3s, I was having long tosses on that table, but I was getting a whole lot of horn numbers. And so when I went over there this time, I said, give me a three-way craps, $15. $15 pass line, 555 to all tall small. And I would come out with that one set, and I was hitting 2s and 12s and occasionally a 3 on the come out off of the horn or off the three-way craps. So I was getting plenty of money up front, in excess of $100. Well, since the three-way was still working after the come out, I'd place the 11, 6, and 8, make another toss, press it. Sometimes I'd hit another one, or I'd hit a box number. Once I hit a box number and the three-way came down, I'd place the 2, 3, and 12 and kept trying to shoot them. I'd use the field, fill up some numbers. It was not odd for me to end up with basically every number covered. I did get to where I didn't want 5 and 9. I just decided I'll go with 4s and 10s and all the other extremes with a 6, 8, kind of as a setup strategy. And unless I'm seeing the 5s and 9s pound in, I was just trying to stay off of them after a little while. Had another great toss, another winning session. A lot of fun. Good Saturday night, a lot of fun. Tables are good. Tables were on fire, seemed like. Because like I said, I had to abandon my don't play approach and basically just do a 6 and 8. Sometimes I would do a one hit can't miss with a don't pass and a 6, 8. But when that would happen, it seemed like for me on this particular night, maybe the point would be 9. I might even lay a little bit extra with it. They'd hit 5, 4, 10, 9, knock this off, establish a point, and then 7 out. So I ended up just playing the 6 and 8 quite a bit. Sometimes I'd throw in a field number, depending on if I was on the crap list or not. Of course, on the crap list there was no don'ts anyway. So, get up Sunday morning. I slept over a little bit, but I wanted to get down to the bow. Didn't have a good session at the bow. Fell in a hole, came back up even. And there's so many times we do this, we go, well, I'm going to shoot. Well, I shot, was a short roll, 3 or 4 or 5 rolls. My buddy shot, and I said, you know what, I'm coloring up. I'm barely down. I've come out of a big hole. And off I go to the cage. And as I'm opening the cage, what's happening? They're opening up the crapless table. Well, so I buy in at the crapless table. Well, it goes around twice. Not too many of us on it. About 5 guys or 5 people on the table. I'm down $80 from that buy-in. I said that's good enough. I'm gonna head back to Harris. We were planning on doing the beach thing, but the forecast wasn't cooperating and the skies were looking gloomy. So I said, well, let's drive down towards Gulfport. We'll find some lunch. Wife was not feeling real well. Apparently her lunch from the day before just hadn't set quite right on her stomach. So we go down the beach. We do eat some lunch. We talk about going ahead and leaving early. Didn't want to really, but She was trying to be a trooper. She said, well, I'll go back and I'll lay down a little while and then we'll decide. And I said, okay, I'll go down and get on the table. So it's Sunday afternoon. It's about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I come up to where the tables are, and of course the regular table's not open. The craftless table had about 4 people all on the stick left side. My position was taken, and I was like, looked at the chip rack. It didn't look too stretched. It didn't like it was too strong. So I went and took a circle around the casino, looked at some slots, trying to decide what to do. Come back to the table and it's almost full. The only position open is way down here, stick right 1. Only position open. That lady that I called Miss T, she was buying in right there. She had already bought in. She was down straight out, way down here on the end. I say hello to her, how's she doing? And she was doing fine, she said. That woman could play some craps. Next thing I know, I said, well, I'm gonna buy in. I had $1,800 in my pocket. I just threw it out all on the table real quick and said, give me 555 out of that. She was getting the dice. Well, she was betting like a wild person and throwing those dice. She was betting pretty big on the horn bets, all these prop bets she was on. She was hopping hard ways. She was doing all kind of things. And she had a fair little roll. And had, nice little winning roll. I made some money off of her. In fact, she hit the all tall small. That's what it was. She hit the all tall small just as on that buy-in. So suddenly I had bullets off my 555 on the all tall small. She hit it with 50, 50, 50. So this is why you practice. I don't practice enough, I promise you. But on occasion, I do try to come down and shoot some things from stick right. Here I am, totally out of position, shooting on a craftless table with no idea. There's landmines all down here. And so the first time I got the dice, I tried my 2-3-6-3 set that I had been using, and I decided I'd just take them, try to do a 3-finger grip down to the wall. First toss was a 7. I didn't like that, so I changed to the 5-1-3-5, and I tossed this way for quite a little while, but I didn't hit any real extreme numbers. There might have been a 3 or an 11 thrown in. Of course, my table was a lot bouncier than the Harris table. But what just, just didn't like the results I was getting. Finally 7'd out. Probably had a 9 or a 10 toss hand. Dice go all the way back around. Down here's Miss T again. Miss T's getting the dice. She's loading it up. She's going 50, 50, 50 going across. And I said, well, let me have 25, 20. No, I did 5-5-5 again. I was like, there's no way she'll do it again. Well, she had a heck of a roll. She didn't hit. She hit the tall or the small, I can't remember which, that there were so many disruptions and they were all caused by her. She was betting $500 horns, and then she was betting black chips on each of those, and then maybe a horn high yo and a horn high, or she was doing high lows. She was splitting them up. She had black chips everywhere out here. Black chips across all extreme numbers, and 50, 50, 50. And that woman was going to town. She had a very long roll. She left, it was either the 2 or the 12 that she left hanging out there. But she needed a yo. It may have been on the first hand. She needed a yo, and I'm standing here, so I had already had all those bullets, and I'd go horn high yo, and she rolled a box number, and I dropped another quarter and said horn high yo. She threw $100 out there and said horn high yo. She threw the yo. Well, with all that prop action and splits and high lows and ace deuces and horns, everything double bet, by that time she had like a 500. She had a purple chip sitting on that thing. So there was a big, she didn't like the payout. She said, "You're not paying me right." Box comes over, they rebet, yeah, that's right. And she says, "No, that's not right." And then some guy down here says, "I got a $5,000, says y'all didn't pay her right." Well, then that got everybody stirred up. Got her more fired up. So she took all that they had paid her off that hand in purple chips. At that point, they hadn't finished paying her out. They were just trying to pay off this center prop action. She wanted them to pay her for each bet. She just could not understand. She was fairly new. I don't think she ever understood that a horn bet covered the 4 numbers. And then of course only one number hit, and they're going to subtract out the 300, and then you got the $500 chip to deal with in the middle. Took forever. Took forever. Finally, she gets content. She gets paid. She finishes her hand. And so then the guy next to me goes, "There is no way." He's in there in the hook. He leaned over me and says, "I'm passing the dice. There's no way I'm going to follow a toss like that." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm not going to toss. I can't toss after that long toss she just had." Well, I'd been trying to figure out what I was going to do. I didn't like the way my toss was going straight down the line from stick right. So what I was doing, what I decided I would do, is I would do a Uri style grip, and I would toss into the turn down there. And I was trying to decide, do I do it with maybe a hard way set, see if I get a lot of off axis tosses, or what. So I ended up going with an all 7 set. I had the 5 and the 2 on top, so it was a 5-2. I'm sorry, 5-4, 2-3 set that I was using. So I went to the all 7 set. Put 25, 25, 25 on the all tall small. When they had the small dice going, I'd take this thing and I would just kind of dribble it into that corner as best I could. And I was just hitting number after number after number after number. Finally, tossing it this way, I hit the tall. I needed a 12. I needed a 2 and a 12. That can bounce right off the table from here. But doing that kind of toss into the corner. Take the 5, 4, 2, 3. I was kind of aiming it, stand here, aim it. I'd sit out here like this with my hand on until they were ready to pass the dice, because I was kind of locked into a comfortable position. They'd hand me the dice, I'd roll them to that, and go straight to the corner. And I just kept picking off numbers, kept doing my normal presses. By then, Miss T down there, she's already, seriously, before I started even throwing, she looked at me and she says, I'm coloring some of this up. And I just kind of looked at her. She said, and she leans over and she goes, is that bad luck for me to do that? And I said, no, you can do whatever you want to do right now. So she colored up all the purples and some of the blacks and left a whole bunch of chips in her rack. She colored up $13,000 before I even got the dice, and she put that $13,000. She said, I'm putting that in my purse. And all them chips get lost in there, so I get these bigger chips. I can find them when I get in my purse. I'm like, okay. So she's done taken 13 grand off the table since I've been there, put it in her purse. Her rack's still half full of greens and blacks. Next thing I know, she's done betting $500 horns. She's got quarters on all the hard ways, and she's got black chips doing this again. And sometimes she'd throw and she'd double up a 3 or double up 200 on a 12. She was doing all kind of crazy bets. I finally hit that 12. She had $100 on the 12. She had $100 here on this 12, and she had $500 on the horn. Took a little while for them to get her paid again. I'm just sitting there getting paid too, trying not to really let all that distraction bother me. And I was fortunate. I managed to keep my cool. And since I was out of position and throwing in such a way I don't normally do, I didn't really care, because what I was doing was working. All I was doing was a simple 5-3 and a 2-4, gripping them just like this. A little bit of backspin right into the turn down there. What, I've thrown 3/8 since I started this. I mean, it was that kind of a thing for me right there. And every once in a while I'd get a single pitch, and one of her $25 hard ways would hit. As soon as I'd bet it, I'd hit it easy. So I quit worrying about the hard ways. But she was quite a lady. I know, because I colored up $4,700. There's a 6-4-10. I colored up $4,700 just with my small bets, she'd already put 13,000. I know she pulled in another 7,000. I mean, she had 50, 50, 50. I hit the tall with a 12. She got that in purple chips and gray chips and put that in her purse. So she'd already put 20 grand plus in her purse when I colored up. So this is one of the reasons you should always practice something different, just to have in your toolbox. Because I was scratching my head. I didn't really know what to toss. Being so out of my, I was just throwing cross body straight down this way is just not comfortable to me. That's why I opted to be more just inline downhill. I don't know what made me choose. That would jumped off the table. I don't know what made me choose to go with the all 7 set, but I was glad I did. After I made the tall, I still threw for quite a long little while. Never did. After I hit the 12, I threw for quite a little while. Never did hit the 2. Like I say, I colored up off that table. There's an ace deuce. I colored up off that table with 4,700. I'm sorry, that's not right. 5,700. I bought in with $1,700 or $1,800 and had basically made 4,000 on 2 trips around the table. Basically me and her. And as I'm leaving, I've already pushed my chips to the dealer. Everybody on this end of the table had already decided they were passing the dice back down to Miss T. I was thinking about saying, well, let me stay. But my wife had already come downstairs. She didn't look like she was feeling well at all. I said, tell you what, let me color up. You go get started packing and we'll just drive on home. So that ended our trip. Came home on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, got home 9 o'clock, 5-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive. Slept in my own bed this last night instead of having to drive home today. And there was absolutely no traffic on the 4th of July night coming back from the Gulf Coast. That's about it. Thank y'all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would. It helps us out. Hit the like button. That's just a quick update. I will post up a short video also on the chip wins, because I know y'all like to watch those. They only less than a minute long anyway. So now I'll be practicing to go back to Biloxi again in a few weeks. And not that I anticipate having to shoot from stick right 2 or stick right 1. I will keep practicing a toss just so I'll be ready. I always try to practice, you always seeing me practice from here or maybe down in the hook. I do throw some every week from straight out. And on occasion, I come down here and throw. But I have never really practiced it because I just despise throwing. It's so uncomfortable from this side of the table for me. But this one I can probably do. I don't know if I can do it with any influence or not. especially on my bouncy table down here. But I can practice the routine, I can practice the mechanics of the toss so that I can play. So y'all practice like you play, play like you practice, go to the casino and roll to win. Thank y'all for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already done so. We'll talk to you soon.